can you talk a little bit about the importance of learning from others while also understanding and building your own individual personalized strategy that works for you?
Yeah, yeah, I think that is key. Again, when you first start out, you think that there's, and I'll speak for myself. I won't speak for anyone else, right? You start out, you come in, you're starry-eyed, you see all these things, and then you hear someone like a Sangalucci saying, "Look, you got to learn about yourself. You got to have, get your ego in check and all this." And me, who's this guy talking to? He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then you realize over time, if you stay in the game, absolutely true, right? Who am I? What are the things that make me tick? Okay, this person's good at that, this person's good at that, this person's good at these things. Now, how does that actually combine with who I am as a person, right? So Nate probably has more resources where he doesn't have the kids that are doing all kinds of things at a specific point in time. I don't have those, right? So when I look at the way that he's reading a chart and then the setups, okay, perfect. Well, I can't trade what he's trading at that given point in time, but what I can do is take those concepts of how to read that chart and apply it to something that actually fits within my time frame. Okay, so now I know that I'm a very visual person, just me speaking about myself. I'm a visual person, and I might need some cues to keep me out of trouble. Because if not, and if I don't have colors in front of me, then I know that I'm just going to be clicking buttons and I'm hoping that things are going to work. I know that's a weakness, right? Like if I see a chart and I see my montage open and I think it's going to do something, especially if I've read like some filings and I'm like, oh, this has to happen. Like my engineer brain just can't shut off. A equals B, short, right? That's not necessarily what the price action is telling me. So I had to write some tools to kind of keep myself accountable, right? So go in, okay, what is the volume doing? What is the price doing? Is this good? So I actually overlay my charts and trading view with red if it doesn't meet that scenario for the small cap stuff. And so I'm just looking at, oh, no, sorry, I can't do that right now, right? And if I do it, slap on the hand, but at least I have some of those things that are there. So that's where I take some of the ADF concepts where, okay, there's going to be this forecast. And if it's going to do a certain thing, then it should look this way and it should do that. So now I take Nate's chart reading skills and I take ADF's thing around the forecast and I say, okay, how does that model here? Then I take it a step further. All right, Nate is like, I don't know, he's a machine. I don't know how he does it, but the guy can trade 40 tickers in a single day and be profitable on like 87% of it. And my mind is just like, bam, I can't do it. I traded 13 and he was like, oh, that's it. And I'm like, wow, what is this? Right. Okay. So I can't trade all those things that he can do, but what I can do is start to find out again time frame, what works within that time frame. Let's look at the data. Now I can look back at some of the stuff that ADH said. Okay, if a zebra is a zebra and it should look a certain way, then the setup that I'm looking for isn't necessarily the thing that Nate might be looking for, you might be looking for, whoever else, Turbo or whoever. It doesn't matter what they're looking for. What does that zebra look like for me, and what's my perception, right? Like everybody goes to the zoo, everybody has their own animal that they're looking for. Maybe Nate's is a zebra and a monkey and a lion, and maybe I can only, go over to the aardvarks. Maybe the aardvark is the only thing that I can trade, right? But I'm specifically looking for that genome type to actually be involved in. And so, I feel like that's even with engineering, it's the same thing, right? Like, yes, I'm established. Yes, I've worked on a lot of stuff, but even when you have newer, younger devs that are coming on your team, they bring a different type of perspective that you may not have. And so, okay, well, let me learn a little bit. What did you see there? Okay, how can I take that a little bit and then make myself a little bit better, right? And I feel like just trying to piecemeal together a system that way makes more sense instead of trying to be a direct copy, because you'll never be a carbon copy. And that took me a long, long, long time to figure out.